I never thought I would see a day like this in my ham radio YouTube channel. You know, a day where I have a radio of this magnitude sitting on my desk for me to play with on video in front of you guys. It's days old. It was just released days ago. It's brand new out of the box, still wrapped in plastic. Hey guys, this is KJ4YZI with HamRadioConcepts. So what I have here is thanks to Gigaparts for allowing me to borrow this radio and check this out so you guys can see all about it. We're even going to make some contacts on it. This is the brand new Yaesu FTDX101 Delta. Yaesu's most powerful radio yet. An SDR with the most advanced contest features. You're taking all your FTDX 3000, your DX 5000, and even your FT101, and you're wrapping them up in something of this caliber that will be the end-all of HF radios, at least from Yaesu. This is the FTDX 101 Delta, and we're going to take the plastic off and fire it up right now.
HamRadioConcepts. The place to come for amateur radio videos.
Boy, if my dad could have seen this radio this day, what he would have thought about a transceiver like this, man, I don't know what he would have thought. But with that being said, they got the FTDX 101 name from the original FT101 that Yaesu had, which was a staple in HF transceivers and has really paved the way to show what technology has done for us this many years later. So in homage, they named this the FTDX 101. And this is the revolution of technology where you have it right here on your desk. This is a 100 watt HF and 6 meter transceiver with the addition of 4 meters at 70 megahertz for the UK. In the US, we don't have that band. Maybe in the future, who knows. But 100 watts on all modes, AM, FM, CW, upper side, lower side, all your digital modes like PSK and FT8, FT4, JT65, WinLink, anything that you can interface with this for the digital modes, you can be had. Now, the 7-inch color touchscreen display really makes it easy to look at this and see everything you need. And I'll show you in a second, there's an option or a jack in the back for an external display. A lot of people ask, can you hook a external display to that radio? Yes, you can with this one. We'll talk about that. Now, on the front here, this is kind of like a collaboration of what me and my Elmer Pat like. I've said this before, he likes radios that are all knobs and buttons. Everything can be tweaked and turned on the front. He doesn't like menu-driven radios. I, myself, like menu-driven radios. I like things that are tucked away in menus and different things you can do on screens and stuff like that. Well, this is kind of a best of both worlds. You can go in the menu and set different things. You can have your dual receivers going at the same time. You can go in the menu and set the function of the multifunction knob. But then you could work different knobs in here for the main band and sub band, different volumes, different filtering for each the main and the sub band. Some buttons up here, quick to change frequencies with the quick keys up here. You can go from 75 or 80 meters to 20 meters to 12 meters to 6 meters with the push of a button. And then you can set main band, 80 meters, sub band, 30 meters. And you can do it that way. There's also a lot of little buttons here for switching from main to sub, transmit to receive, memory functions, notch filtering, all kinds of DSP and more. On the front of the radio, it uses a 8-pin round style mic from Yaesu. Comes with a ham mic, I'll show you. The headphone jack and the key jack are both 1/4 inch. And it's got 2 USB ports on the front. Now, unless I overlooked it, I can't find anything about these 2 USB ports in the manual. It would appear that you can plug in a keyboard or a mouse or something to this thing right in the front, but there's also a USB jack in the back, and that's what I found in the manual, not about these. So maybe that's for future, who knows. One thing it does have here also on the front is an SD card reader for an SD card up to 32 gigs. Now, that's important, and let me tell you why. Let's say, yes, it's good to save memories. It's good to save memories and be able to update your firmware of your radio just with a card. Back in the day, you had to use cat cables and all that. But check this out. Let's say you're at field day. Let's say you have a friend come over. Let's say you're borrowing this from somebody and they have this radio with all these different functions set up the way they want it. And then you go in there and start tweaking it, or your buddy comes and changes all your settings, because you can do a lot with this radio. You can save your current configuration on the SD card. Let them have it. Away you go. Play with it. Mess up my waterfall the way I got it set up, and then you can load your configuration from that SD card right back into the radio. I think that's a good thing. And other radios do that too, but this one is definitely a good thing to have. What a plethora of connections in the back of this radio. Nice size fan here, keep the radio cool, keep air moving. You have your DC power in, 12 volts, minimum 23 amps to run this radio. Because of all this architecture in here, you want to make sure you have at least 23 amps, but I'm going to advise you to have at least a 35 amp power supply to make sure that you have enough overhead so your power supply isn't working double time to feed the radio. You have 3 SO239 antenna jacks labeled antenna 1, antenna 2, and antenna 3/receive. So it's my understanding that you could use all 3 of these for different antennas, and there is an internal automatic antenna tuner. Now, read the manual. It says it can only adjust the impedance presented to the transceiver end of the coaxial cable feed line. It does not, quote, tune SWR at the antenna feed point itself. We recommend that every effort be made to ensure a low SWR at the antenna feed point. That goes back to show the previous video I did about antenna analyze or antenna tuners. They do not tune your antenna. It's only going to make the radio happy right here so the radio sees what it wants to see. So please work on getting resonant, efficient antennas. I'm guessing that the antenna 3/RX is also used on number 3 for a receive antenna only, or a so you could transmit on 1 or 2 and receive on 3. Maybe you have a Yagi facing one way, but you want to transmit on an Omni, and then you want to receive on the Yagi. You can do that here. Also have a linear connection here for the Quadra system, for the Quadra amplifier, and some other ones. You have, this is a big thing here, the external display. This is a DVI connector here. You can hook up an HD computer monitor or a TV, some TVs with an adapter, to the external display and have a large TV on your wall feeding what's coming off the screen, and you'll use your touchscreen on the radio, but you'll have a nice big display on your wall. There's also a lot of connections here for external speakers for main and sub. You have a key jack in the back as well. AF out, remote, RIDI, and data for hooking up a TNC and some other modules here with the 6-pin mini DIN. You also have a USB port here, and this USB port is designed for remote control operation, for using digital modes like FT8, FT4, PSK. You can get a lot of things, audio in and out with cat control on the USB. Also an RS-232C for traditional cat control. You have an accessory jack here. This is a 13-pin accessory jack, if I'm not mistaken. You also have a tuner jack, and then you have a main and a sub, receiver out and IF out. So you have, I think, the main is 9.005 megahertz IF out, not through the roofing filter, and the sub band would be 8.900, I think, megahertz IF out, not through the roofing filter. So you could tap to the IF right here on the back of the radio. KJ4YZI calling CQ 20 meters. Kilo Juliet 4 Yankee Zulu India calling CQ and listening.
November Juliet 1 Golf.
November Juliet 1 Golf. Good afternoon. KJ4YZI, name is Eric, over.
I know your voice real well. I watch a lot of your YouTube on ham radios. This is Carol up in the state of Maine, over.
Oh, Roger, Carol in the state of Maine. Very good. Well, I'm actually talking to you. You were the very first contact testing out this new Yaesu FTDX101. What's it sound like, Carol, over?
You sound great. Nice, clear, crisp modulation. You sounded real well.
I hope so for the price tag on this thing. It's definitely a really cool radio. Hey, what's the temperature in Maine? I haven't been to Maine since I was about 13. No, I was there in about 16. I was about 2000 I was there. Parsonsfield, Maine, close to Limerick, over.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, I'm about 10 miles northeast of Augusta, Maine. The temperature today is right around 60 degrees and raining.
60 and raining. Currently 81 here, 87 degrees, 80 degrees, 87% humidity. Earlier it was about 90 degrees. So I'm jealous still of your weather. But I can go out jet skiing, but I'm sure the water up there is still cold ever.
Yeah, there's places where you'd have to put your ice skates on. Some of the lakes are still froze up.
Oh my God, it's May, man, it's May.
Yeah, they should be all pretty well out this week, I hope. I'd like to get out there and do some fishing, over. Bye-bye, thank you, 7-3.
Kilo, Juliet 4, Yankee, Zulu, India.
Kilo, Juliet 4, Kilo, Juliet 4.
Oh, Roger, thank you. Kilo, Juliet 4, Yankee, Zulu, India. Name is Eric, and you're about a 5'7" here in Florida, over.
Okay, thank you, my
Oh, 5'9".
Kilo, Juliet 4, Yankee, Zulu, India. Kilo, Papa 4, Romeo, Mike, Sierra, from Puerto Rico. I am Raúl, my friend. You see the report, 85, I cross my friend, over.
Okay, yeah, correction on the signal. You're now a 5'9" here into Florida. Good signal. And I'm talking to you on a Yaesu FTDX101. What's it sound like in Puerto Rico? Over?
Okay, very good, my friend. Very good. Kilo, Papa 4, Romeo, Mike, Sugar, from Puerto Rico. Okay, my name is Raúl. Raúl, Romeo, Alfa, Uruguay, Lima. Okay, direction antena is Europa, my friend. You see that report, 85, I cross my friend, over.
Oh, Roger on the antenna and the 5'9 plus. Very good. Well, you're a solid 5'9", peaking at just over 5'9". I'm using only the high gain AV680 vertical with the FTDX 101. So 7-3, my friend Raul. Take care. Have a good time. And 7-3, KJ4YZI.
Okay, Eric, thank you. Thank you for contact. Kilo, Papa 4, Romeo, my sugar. Eric, please, complete contact QRT. Thank you, 73.
7-3, I'll do that.
Thank you, what the best.
Roger, Kilo, Juliet 4, Yankee, Zulu, India, in Florida.
So, Juliet 4, Yankee, Zulu, India, Florida, Eric, nice to see you. We made a 10-meter QSO 5 years ago. You're 5 and 7, 57 tonight, Eric, over.
Hey, Roger, you're a good 5'7" to 5'9" on the conditions. Sound really good. I'm using the FTDX 101, and you sound amazing. Over.
Okay, Eric, thanks for the report from Florida. Kilo, Juliet 4, Yankee, Zulu, India, from YK40. Ciao, Eric.
Ciao. Well, that was pretty cool. I got to make a couple of contacts out of the box, worked a few stations. They sounded really good. So let's talk about the main thing that attracts everybody to this screen. Now, think about this. You could have someone like my brother-in-law in the other room that's never touched a ham radio in his life. But if you sat him down in front of this thing, the screen itself would turn him on to, wow, that is impressive looking, right? So there's a lot of features in this radio, and I can't talk on all of them on one video without making it 3 hours long. And some of those may not appeal to you or to this guy, but what appeals to everybody is this beautiful screen. Now, this is a 7-inch touchscreen display, and the thing about it is you can set this up with multiple different things on the screen. I'm going to walk through this because I haven't opened the manual, but I did touch around with it 3, 4, 5 minutes before starting this video, and it's rather easy to get through and get familiar with it. But I want to show you all the things this screen will do, because this is the heartbeat of your radio, is watching what's on the screen. Now, what you're looking at is dual receivers here. You have a main VFO and a sub VFO. You can set one frequency to the one and one frequency to the other. On the bottom half of the screen, you're seeing Yaesu's first brand new 3D waterfall. Now, that's configurable in several ways, and we'll show you that. So what stands out to me is I like, first, these VU meters, or these analog meters up here, but they're not analog. They're analog looking meters on a digital color screen. And my dad would have looked at that and said, where's the needle? I don't get it. That was before touchscreens. So I like the way these things are fluid. They really work really fluid in the operation of the meters. Now, the meters can be configured for different things. Let's say you wanted to click this meter or tap it and turn it into your compression. Now you can see your compression meter on the left and your ALC on the right. Or I set this to power output, and I click on the right meter and I set that to SWR. So now at one time when I'm transmitting, I could see the SWR on the right and my power output on the left. Or I could change this to ALC. Okay, now I have ALC on the right to make sure that I'm not clipping and my audio level is right. So that's pretty cool. And both subband or main band and subband dual receivers here, you also have your waveform here for your bandwidth, your spectrograph for your receive. As you transmit, that switches to a transmit. So now you can see your filtering on receive. You can shift one way or the other, see how wide you are, how narrow you are. Pretty cool stuff. On the bottom is the 3D waterfall display here, Yaesu's first ever touchscreen 3D waterfall display. Now, before we get to that, you can see here on the middle here, you can adjust different things like attenuation on the main band or attenuation on the subband, okay? Your roofing filter, your AGC on each one of those. And also, a cool thing is I could change, let's say on the 3 antenna connectors on the back, I could change my main VFO to be on antenna 1 and my sub VFO to be on antenna 3, okay? Then I could set that to where, you know, if I have a 3-band or a tri-band antenna for 10, 20, and 40, I can hook it up to antenna 2 and use it on the right side here and have my all-band vertical on the left side, okay? So we're going to put this back over here to 1 so you see something on the display. Now, on the bottom, the 3D display there, it looks pretty cool. I'm going to tell you honestly, I'm not sure how much of an advantage that 3D waterfall would give me. If you asked me for my opinion would be I would like to see it as a 2D waterfall. And I would expand it like this and change some colors so that I could see more of the waterfall like this with my little spectral graph up top. But you see already, the point is you can set it up several different ways. And we'll go to display for the scope. First, we're going to change it. That's how you'd have a scope on each band. Your main band and your sub band. You have 2 scopes. Both are in waterfall right there. One's using the regular hybrid SDR. One's using a narrow SDR to encompass both of these waterfall displays. But I can click on display again. Check this out. I can have them on the left and the right. That's really cool. I like the way that looks. It kind of looks like, I don't know, maybe like a video game. Kind of like a Space Invaders mixed with Contra from the 1990s on Nintendo. I'm not sure. But it's a really cool thing. I could also click display again and check this out. Now I have a larger display of my receive waveform here on each side. So I could see each one if you use that type of meter there. So this is a bigger picture of the waterfall. So if you want more waterfall and less stuff up top, you can have it this way. Okay? And we push display one more time. Let's see. We're going to go back to this one, and I'm going to click that. We're going to put it back to where it was. Now, I could also click on multi and check this out. Now I have my scope here. That's the subband scope. Then I have my oscilloscope for subband and my audio waveform, the AF audio on the right. So that's 3 kilohertz wide on the right here. And then you have your oscilloscope. And then I can move to my main band like this, and they stay there. I could also use the buttons on the front of the radio to go main and sub. So you can do it button style or you can do it touchscreen style. It's up to you. Okay? A lot of different ways to manipulate the screen here to make it how you want it. And again, if I go back to the waterfall, I could, or the, you call it waterfall, I could also touch on the waterfall. If I see this signal over here, that centers me right on there. Now look. Here I am, okay? A lot of noise on 40 tonight. But I can click on it, put me right there, all right? Very cool stuff. In the scope menu, if I click this, I can change stuff like the speed of my scope, and I can go, let's see, let's get that again. Display, no, I don't want that. I want that. I want to click scope menu, speed, and I want to turn it to fast 3. I can make it faster. Now it's really moving, okay? And again, if it was me, I would like it this way, but I would have it slow. Scope menu, 1. Okay? That's how I like it. And you can do the same thing this way. You can click on it and zoom right in. You can click on the bottom here to make it bigger, but then you could also click on the part of the spectral graph there and zoom right in to where you want it. Okay? Also, you can go into the function menu, and now here is a bunch of options in the function menu that you can change your scope settings, your RF power, noise blanker, Vox gain. You have your memory channels, record conversations or QSOs, tones for 10 meters and 6 meter repeaters, all kinds of stuff on here. And it's a little bit easier to see on this radio compared to like a 991 where you have to scroll through a text list by number. It's a little easier to see this on here. It makes it a little more like a tablet style where you have it as squares on the screen. You could touch on roofing filter and change that, you know. Wow, what an impressive radio. I got to say, there's so many things that you know, you can mess with here. I think that's cool. I think that's cool there. Now, see, there's another option. You can have on the main band, you can have a 3D progressing waterfall like this. And on the right, you can have the 2D with the spectrograph, all on the same screen. So if you like one or you like the other, or you want them both, there they are. So I want to change the colors. I'll go like this. I'm going to set this back to a 3D scope. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Scope Menu and Color. Now the direct sampling SDR, I'm going to make that orange. Oops. Like that. And then a narrowband SDR, I'm going to change that to purple. Okay. Now you can see in the middle, here's your narrowband SDR right here. And here's your direct sampling to cover the entire band spread there. All right. And you can do that the same with different ways here if you want to do it this way. Like this. All right. I like the double there. Makes it a little bit easier. You can see. So, you know, a lot of people, they monitor for band openings on, say, well, this would be great. Check this out. If we go to, oh, I don't want that. I want this. I'm going to go to 6 meters on the right. Okay. We'll go like this. Then we're going to turn this knob here. Let's go like this to the sideband, right? So now what you can do is you can go like this. You leave it here on the calling frequency or somewhere thereabouts. And then on this one, you're monitoring or talking on 20 meters. Now let's say you're talking to a friend and you're saying, well, I'm waiting for 6 to open. You leave it like this. Next thing you know, you have a bunch of signals or different things here on the waterfall on this side. Whoa, 6 is open. Boom, you set it over here. You're talking. You can have the receive on the sub VFO turned up with the RF gain turned down or squelched. And as soon as it starts coming in, you can jump on 6 meter activity that fast. It's pretty cool stuff. Here's the mic here. This is the Yaesu mic that comes with it. This is an SSM75G. It does have an up and down button on the top. It's got a clicking PTT button on the side and a mute button in case you wanted to mute your audio. It's also got 4 programmable P1, P2, P3, and P4 buttons. So you can program those for different functions in the menu if you wanted to set it for changing main and sub. You could set it to change right there. Turn the tuner on and off is how it's set default. So mic feels good in the hand, just a stock mic, but definitely sounds really good. Manufacturers are really doing a good job on stock mics lately, so I could use this for a while until I got bored with it. All right, guys, so, you know, the same thing when I was touching all this over here, to touch the VFO-A, VFO-B, or whatever, I can do the same thing over here. I can go to main band, sub band. I can reverse them, okay? I could set this to this knob here to clarifier. Now I can clarify with the inside ring, the multi-ring VFO knob here. Let's get that back to 0 where it was. I'll turn it off. Okay, and then I could also use this for fine tuning. Makes it very easy to dig out stations when you're looking for the rarest contacts or the hardest to work stations or the most noise with all the filtering and all the DSP and all the advanced architecture in this radio. You guys really have something to look forward to. So thanks for watching. This is a video that hopefully walked you through the radio and gave you a little insight. But more importantly, I want you to put in the comments what you thought. Did you like the video? Did you learn a lot? Tell Yaesu, tell everybody, this video showed you a lot about this radio. And I hope to bring you more videos like this in the future of all different kinds of radios like we have been doing lately. There's a lot of stuff out there, a lot of stuff that I'm learning about, but I hope you learned something from this video. Thanks for watching. Click the subscribe button. The little bell next to the subscribe alerts you when videos like this are posted. You don't want to be the guy that says, oh, I just saw that 4 months after I uploaded it. 7-3, guys. KJ4YZI.